Hello, Arjun. Good morning. I'd at first like to thank you for giving my group a strong team for to share our perspective about what we learned from you in the IoT Fundamentals course. And I'd also like to thank my group members for sharing their valuable opinion with me and others in order to do this project. So now let's move on to the next slide to see what we learned about this project. Okay, so now what we did our project on the smart ring IoT. So actually, what is smart ring IoT? As we predicted that in the near future, IoT will have a huge impact in our lives, and therefore we think that the IoT needs a way to control all the IoT devices and so there should be a smart communication between each IoT devices in order to use them with ease and flexibility, as well as to use them with smart security. So that's why we came up with the idea of smarting IoT after searching many research papers in order to get our idea more stable and more useful. So now we are implementing this IoT ring, which will try to help us control some other IoT devices as well as gives us user benefits and other health benefits and security when we use it in the near future for our own safety. So now, let me first share you that how we are gonna design the smart IoT ring and how its design will come up. Like these diagrams shows that the prototype of the smart IoT ring and the major components that should be included within the IoT ring using the instruments or the MCU that we have now. Like the smart IoT prototype should contain the infrared sensor, miniature OLED displays, such different IMU, which the inertial measurement unit sensors, and the various capacitive touch for just seeing how to change the touch and the origin and depending on like the Arduino Mega board, the various infrared receivers which should be actually be attached to the IoT smart devices that the ring will control. And you can see that all these has been just a prototype, but in the future we want all of them to be connected in a ring, which will be in miniaturized version of this we implemented with the PCB board in PCB structure as well as miniaturized design, and since the solid what to say electronics industry has been growing a lot, so we hope that in the future our smart ring will be in a much shorter and efficient way of implementation for 5G and 6G applications. So now let me discuss with you like how we will use the smart ring to connect or to control other devices such as smart TV, smart smart fan, smart bulb, and smart fridge. Smart oven. So this is we will use different gestures like the gesture you see here is the up sign, down sign. So this will help us to in the A and B you see they help us to increase or decrease the temperature, like the C sign which will help us to select certain devices, and the cross sign will help us to deselect the device, and we can also use the right arrow sign, and it's not shown here but in the left arrow sign to see with to change the different channels of the TV. as well as if for our oven we can also use the circle sign to increase the temperature or decrease it, or increase the time or decrease it, or to see, increase the rotation speed of the fan as well. So these different types of gestures, when pointed towards different smart IoT devices, will actually help to control them after communication is established between the smart IoT and the IoT ring and the smart IoT devices. So now let's see how the smart ring communicates with the TV as proposed here. Like we normally we have taken this from with the help of a paper that we want, that they are trying to show that which is done by Samsung. They're trying to show that the smart ring is actually communicating with the smart TV or smart bulb or smart fridge with using a channel or pathway that has already been established by the phone, the help of phone. The phone. Let me first discuss how we want. They want the communication to be established. Like the mobile devices will come first and request after both of them are connected to the net, and then after the discovery has been of that device, a smart device such as the TV or the bulb, the fridge will respond that it is there, and now after sending the acknowledgement, it will try to say what it will try our IR devices, like our smart IoT ring will send the IR using the IR sensor. It will send the IR back to the TV, and the TV will respond that the IR has been triggered, and it will send the device ID back to our phone. Our phone will then help us to communicate with this by sending the device ID back to the ring, and then the ring will select. This will allow us that the ring is now connected with to the smart TV, fridge, bulb, and ovens with different UIs, and then we can select which device that we want, and then we can perform several gestures that I already showed you before to control the device, and after that the our this data will be again sent back to our phone. Our phone will recognize this gesture, and this it will send it. It will map it first, and then send this gesture as a response to the smart IoT server, as well as this, and then this will in turn control the smart TV, smart bulb, and the smart fridge. So this is how they are trying to control the smart TV. But actually, we propose that in the future, without, like here, they are trying to do it with the help of a phone. But in the future, is when the ring is should be connected directly to the through the Wi-Fi or the Bluetooth to the server, ID server, and all the IoT devices will also be connected directly to the server. So that way, if there, even if the phone here is not present, the ring can communicate directly with the smart TV without the need of the phone, smartphone. So the ring can also be used to communicate directly with the phone. So that's how we think that our smart ring should be implemented. Like if it will be more clear when we move to the next slide and show that the different modifications that we propose for our ring. The ring IoT, in order to implement it in a better and much effective way, can be modified using these modules: the NFC module, the health module, the ID module, and the M1 module. So this module will enable the ring to be directly connected to the server in a secure way as well as smarter way, so which will enable us to connect the ring IoT smart ring directly to the various IoT appliances, even without the need for the mobile to be in between, to act as a medium for providing the channel for the ring to communicate with the devices. So now let's see the first the health module. Now, as a prototype, you can see that the health module consists of the various different devices such as the power supply, rectifiers, 5V regulators, and Wi-Fi, and then it's connected to the Wi-Fi module. And this Wi-Fi module, through use of an MCU microcontroller, is connected to various devices, and then all of these goes to data goes to the IoT server. So this is just the prototype design, but we all of these should also be miniaturized, like the in order to measure the heart rate or the measure the temperature or the motion. Different sensors should be placed, and this ring should be connected to this data should be sent over to the IoT server such as NetPi using Bluetooth and Wi-Fi with the help of the health module. The health module will then help us to get information regarding the human health of various types, and this information and data is stored forever in the server, and that can be accessed by doctors or other experts, which can later help us to predict that how much is the probability of us getting sick or getting a certain type of disease in the near future, making us more conscious about our own life and how we should lead it, instead of getting the bad news at the very last stage. So this will help us to get a monitor our health and own illness in real time scenario. Even with the help of doctors or without, we can learn our own symptoms from these data, and using separate machine learning algorithms we can also predict that in the future that we are more susceptible to heart attack or brain attack, or aren't we not. And even the doctors or even the society can know, like when we are we more which age group has more susceptibility to different diseases or not, uh, using the k-means learning. Like now we are having the COVID-19 problem. So this if we can also if in every now if now we had the IoT ring and everyone uses this ring, then the data about everyone, the temperature, or are they having any kind of sicknesses like problems in the heart or ECG. These are some of the symptoms that can be monitored easily by the government if they had this IoT implemented in large scale in this current scenario, but we do not have it. So this would have helped us to evade or to lower the or to fight against COVID-19 in a much larger scale if we had this type of ring technology in the current scenario. So this will have a better impact on us in the future, according to us. So now let's see other modules like the NFC module, which is the near field communication module, has the following prototype design, that we suggest that it has its own battery, which is will be definitely should be long term, and it has different front end memory, and it has different protections is also embedded with it, and also the it has a matching and filtering in order to communicate with near devices. This NFC module also has ability to store huge amount of data within it, since the memory of the NFC will be integrated by a small processor. Here they have used MCU, but with MCU, I think I suggest that there should also be a smart processor integrated within the memory in order to make it more invulnerable to different kinds of attacks that may come in the future from the IoT server, from hacking the IoT server. But so we suggest that it should be more secure in that manner. And even though this NFC module help us to communicate with other NFC tags, which can be enabled within different devices, such as even without the IR we can also communicate with the NFC tag. The NFC tag which will activate directly when we touch other IoT devices uh, without the need for like any other communication channel to be already there. It can also already be connected using this NFC module, since the signal will come directly from this module, and there's no other need for any other channel to be established beforehand. So this can be help us to get faster and healthcare proceedings, like all our histories, all our previous symptoms should be directly within the memory of the health module. And then this will, whenever we go to the doctors won't have to ask us what was your previous condition, did you have that, did you have this. No, because they already will have it when we use this NFC module to insert our data within their server, as well from our personal servers using the NFC tag. As well as we can also make cardless and mobile-less payments with this NFC module within the Ring IoT. It will also be helpful for us to be useful for certain printers or certain other speakers that we want to use in the near future, to enable them using the NFC tag. Basically, this will also help us to make them secured. Like only we can use them, no one else can get them, because no one has this NFC module, but our own NFC tag. So this will also make things secure. We can use also this NFC module for and enable NFC tags for using in our cars, for usage in our door, smart doors, tablets, and mobiles. So no one will be able to open them without our ring. So only they will have to steal our ring to get them open. But I hope we can secure ourselves with that. But still we can close it. We can use our different devices without the need to always keep them locked or keys. So all of them can be easily used by this ring. So that's how we can also communicate with other smart devices to control it without the need for using any mobile phone or other devices to be used. So now let's see the other modules, such as the M1 and ID modules. The M1 and ID modules will be like untouched smart token will be used for untouched smart token based applications. They will allow us they will enable like confidential authenticity, integrity, and smart security at the same time when they are being implemented. Since they will act as the master key, the key which can be used, which can will be able, since they will be able to store all the keys, like the bus, the railway, or the home key, as well as the different payment key and payment key cards. Everything will be stored within this module, so that we can easily open them, and different payment cards will also be stored, so we don't always have to carry our purse everywhere. Where we can on the other hand, we can use our ring, which has all these keys enabled within them in a smart, secure way, so we can easily move around and without the need for other things to make payments or to use. So this help us to use the ring in a higher application way, in a smarter way. So we can say that since it's not connected to the net at that time, or the keys are already there in a digitally secured way, smarter way. So even if the server is not connected at some time, but it will still work, since it will have its own signal using its own power source, so it can work. We don't always have to be in contact with the server to in order to sync up. It is not like that, but we can use this key every time, and then the that server where it's being applied, it will recognize this key depending on the way we have been using it. So we can say that the even the hacker who is trying to hack it, he won't have a very large window to get the signal because it's very close. It's a near field application. You have to be present there for a small amount of time. This signal won't be easily traced. Even if we can say that even if the server of where we store our data somehow is hacked, but still it will be the data will also be stored in the server as well as it will also be stored within the ring own memory. So even if the hacker gets the server, he won't be able to get the ring's memory. So since it's very secured and very and has its own power and is not always connected to the server, so that's how our own all the devices or all the information can easily be remain unharmed and untampered with using this ring. So this ring, finally, I can conclude, and my team will also conclude that we can use the smart IoT ring device to be used for future range, a huge range of applications related to our daily life in a much easier and secure way, using taking advantage of the high-speed machine-to-machine communications in the future, using when 5G and 6G will be implemented at their very best level. So at that time, we can easily use our smart ring IoT applications to do a better way of living our lives as well as a smarter and safer way of taking care of our own daily activity. And so finally, we say that our ring will serve a better purpose of filling the requirements of IoT and how they connect to each other. So now these are some of the references that we have taken from the website, and you can say that there is this paper as well, and what are the recommendations that we take in order to make it work better and to fit the IoT requirements in the very future. So that's how we like to conclude our group project presentation. So thank you, Ajan, for giving you for giving your valuable time for our project. And like, thank you. Thank you.